may I invite Sarah Lambert, Director of Student Operations Support, to present Stephen Mifsud.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduates, families and friends, it is my honour to introduce Stephen Mifsud, MBE. When the university considers awarding honorary degrees, it seeks individuals who have not only pushed the boundaries of their field for the benefit of society, but who also reflect the values that are important to us at Brighton: courage, creativity, sustainability, partnership and equity. Today we seek to honour such an individual. Stephen Mifsud, MBE, is an internationally recognised authority on accessibility and inclusive design, a field in which he hasn't just made an impact, but he's helped to rewrite the rulebook. Born profoundly deaf, Stephen has drawn on his lived experiences to dedicate his career to breaking down barriers and creating opportunities for disabled people worldwide. His mission has been clear: to challenge assumptions, reimagine spaces and ensure no one is left behind. It was here at the University of Brighton that Stephen's journey truly began to take shape. As a deaf student studying architecture, he quickly learned how to navigate a campus and a world that wasn't always built with accessibility in mind. It was during his time at Brighton that Stephen recognised how design and accessibility could and should work hand in hand. Not to simply meet regulations, but to create spaces that actively welcome and include everyone. With determination, grit, and a healthy dose of Brighton stubbornness, he earned his degree and laid the foundations for the extraordinary work that would follow. In 2004, Stephen established Direct Access, an award-winning accessibility consultancy founded on one fundamental principle: that inclusion should be integral, not an afterthought. From its UK beginnings, the firm has grown under his leadership to deliver transformative projects across the United States, Europe and the Middle East. His work reads like a checklist of some of the world's most iconic institutions and events: UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Science Museum, MacArthur Glen Design Outlets, and Transport for London's Step-Free Access programme for the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games. He played a pivotal role at Expo 2020 Dubai, first as Project Director for Universal Design and then as Director of Accessibility, pioneering innovations such as sensory rating cards, sensory rooms and changing place toilets. Beyond these achievements, Stephen has an exceptional talent for spotting opportunities that others might overlook. For example, he introduced QR codes for sign language narration in museums, allowing members of the deaf community to engage with exhibits in new, independent ways and promoting many that wondered why it hadn't been done sooner. Stephen's expertise has been sought at the very highest levels. He helped shape the accessibility framework for the United Nations COP28 conference, creating bespoke standards to ensure that everyone could take part. In the United States, he has led municipal accessibility plans that are transforming how public service support disabled communities. And here at home, he has collaborated with some of the world's most respected architectural firms, including Foster & Partners, making sure accessibility isn't something tacked on at the end, but is considered from the very first sketch. As a disability-owned and disability-inclusive employer, Stephen has built a business model rooted in the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly focusing on economic empowerment and social impact. His belief is that inclusion benefits everyone, not just those directly affected, and the organisations should embrace it, become stronger, fairer and more sustainable as a result. His outstanding contributions have not gone unnoticed. He's been named one of the most influential disabled people in the UK on the Shaw Trust Disability Power 100 list, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And in 2021, he was appointed MBE by the late Queen Elizabeth II for services to international trade and inclusive design. Beyond the accolades, what's most striking about Stephen is his authenticity. He has harnessed his own experiences, the challenges, the setbacks, and the victories to drive change and inspire others. His journey reminds us that barriers can be broken, perceptions can be challenged, and yes, entire industries can be reshaped if you've got the courage to start. Today, Stephen is a sought-after international speaker addressing audiences of policymakers, architects, business leaders, and occasionally bewildered techies, all with the same unflinching message. Accessibility is not a favour, not a tick-box exercise, but a fundamental human right and a source of extraordinary innovation. Stephen's work has made a tangible difference to the lives of countless people around the world. Through his dedication, creativity, and quiet determination, he continues to show that meaningful change happens when we refuse to accept exclusion is inevitable. Instead, on a world where everyone has a right to participate fully and equally, his influence continues to shape global standards and inspire a future where inclusion is the rule, not the exception. And now, in recognition of his contribution to the advancement of accessibility in buildings and services for people with disabilities, it is our honour to present Stephen Mifsud MBE for the honorary degree of Doctor of Arts of the University of Brighton.
Stephen Mifsud, in recognition of your contribution to the advancement of accessibility in buildings and services for people with disabilities, I confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Arts of the University of Brighton. Congratulations. I now have the huge pleasure of asking Stephen to address the audience.
Thank you. I speak all over the world, but I've never quite been as nervous as I am today. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Governors, distinguished guests, graduates and friends. It is with immense gratitude and humility that I stand before you today to accept this honorary doctorate from the University of Brighton. To be recognised from the very institution that helped my journey is a profound honour, one that I will carry with pride and deep appreciation. It's almost 30 years to the day I was an 18-year-old, like some of you, walking through Mithras House for the very first time. I remember the nerves, the excitement, and the sense that something important was beginning. I could never have imagined then that I would return to this university not as a student, but as someone being honoured for a life's work rooted in the values that I very first encountered right here at the University of Brighton. I want to tell you something quite important. Back in 1995, we didn't have the assistive technologies that are available here today. And more importantly, we didn't have the legal protection for disabled people that we now rightly expect. But even then, the University of Brighton was ahead of its time. The disability support team provided note-takers and the kind of practical, thoughtful support that ensured I had an equal access to learning. They didn't just help me succeed. they created a level playing field. Their work was quiet, consistent, and transformative. It was proof that back then, in 1995, that the university was already thriving for inclusivity, long before it was a legal obligation. I owe them a great deal, and I want to thank them publicly for the role that they played in my education and my confidence. University of Brighton was one of the very first and the most inclusive at that time. To the graduates here today, congratulations. You've reached a milestone that reflects not only your academic achievement, but your resilience, your curiosity, and your determination. You've done this during a time of great global change, and that makes your success even more remarkable. If you're sitting there wondering what comes next, don't worry, you don't need to have it all figured out. You've already made the important step. You've started. Your path will unfold in ways that you can't yet imagine. And often you'll fall into your calling when you least expect it. Don't underestimate the value of the social side of university life. Some of the most important lessons you'll learn won't come from textbook or lectures. They'll come from friendship, late-night conversations, and shared experiences. Learning who you are as a person is just as important as learning your subject. I've heard some of the friendship today as the awards were being collected from the sharing. It was lovely to hear. One thing I would say is this: if you ever have the opportunity to work internationally, grab it. Challenge yourself. Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. Experiencing different cultures and mindsets will broaden your perspective in ways that you will not predict. A very close friend of mine in Dubai once said to me, "Don't let your location be an anchor. Get out there and make a difference to the world." As a profoundly deaf person, I was born deaf. I've often navigated a world that was not built with me in mind, but Brighton gave me the tools and confidence to challenge that. It was here that I began to understand how design, architecture, and accessibility could intersect to create spaces that welcome everyone. That belief led me to find Direct Access, a consultancy which works globally. As you mentioned, from Expo 2020 to COP28, we've had the privilege to work alongside some of the world's leading architectural firms, including Foster & Partners, helping them to embed accessibility in the very foundation of design, not as an afterthought. But it all started with a simple idea that inclusion is not a favor, it is a fundamental right. If there is one thing that I have learned, it's your difference is your strength. The very thing that sets you apart can become your greatest asset. For me, deafness gave me a unique lens through which to see the world, one that valued empathy, clarity, and connection. This is really important to me, but as a society, we should not only accept our differences, we should celebrate them. Our diversity of thought, background, and experience is what drives innovation and compassion. Inclusion isn't just about access, it's about recognizing the value in every unique perspective. So I encourage you to embrace what makes you different. Let it guide your purpose. Let it shape your leadership. And never underestimate the power of your voice, even if, like mine, it's expressed in ways that the world just does not expect. Before I close, I want to acknowledge someone who had been my rock, my inspiration, and my greatest supporter, my wife, Jude. I can't see her right now, but she's sitting somewhere in the audience at the back. Over the past few years, Jude, my wife, had faced bowel cancer and chemotherapy with a strength and grace that had left me in awe. I find it quite difficult. Her courage had been a guiding light in my life and career. She had stood by me through the most challenging moment of my professional journey, offering unwavering support, wisdom, and love. Jude had not only lifted me up, she had inspired others around her with her resilience, warmth, and determination. Alongside supporting me, Jude had dedicated herself to raising awareness for digestive cancer in Europe, advocating for early detection, better treatment, fit tests, and support for those who have been affected. Her voice had reached far beyond our home, and her impact continued to grow. Without her, I wouldn't be standing here today. Jude, this honour is yours as much as mine. Thank you for being my anchor, my partner, and my constant source of strength. Your belief in me had made all the difference. To the University of Brighton, thank you for this honour. It is the greatest honour I have ever received. To the graduate, go forward with courage, compassion, and conviction. The world needs your ideas, your energy, and your belief in a better future. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Governors, distinguished guests, graduates, and friends, thank you for this honour.